Do you love how I almost forgot to turn the camera on? Yeah, good like that. Really, really multi talented here, people. Well, hello and welcome to Metaphysical Practices. I have so much I want to talk to you guys about today. And hello, Becky. How are you? Hello, Alethea. There's so much I want to talk to you guys about. I'm also having some eyelash problems, which is why I'm late. I swear to you guys, like it doesn't matter how on time I try to be these days, I'm gonna be late. I don't know if there's something planetary happening or I don't know what, but like something is determined to make me late. Whatever. But my eyelashes are doing some crazy stuff, so I may have to hit pause to fix the eyelashes, if a problem arises. I mean, you'll know how I am, very vain. But I'm a Virgo, so. Okay. So I want to talk about your space. I want to talk about the space that you work in, you sleep in, you eat in, the space like in your yard. I want to just talk about your space. Now, there's a couple of things that I know, like Becky that is in the chat, Gypsy Soul Surfer. Um, she does like she posts pictures and you can see like how awesome her backyard is. I don't often post pictures of my yard because my kids leave a litany of stuff like all through the yard. Although I was talking to Alethea today and she was like, you might want to put some of this like out there because we were talking about canning and stuff. And I do like, I have a garden and so I was working in my garden today and which honestly is such a wonderful it's just like a happy place for me. Hey Amber Melanie, how are you? Um so lots of there's a lot of happy spaces for me, and in my yard, in my garden, it may not be as beautiful as Instagram beautiful or whatever, but it is definitely a high spot and a happy place for me. So I don't post tons of pictures about it, but I think I'm going to start. Hey, Kelsey. I think I am going to start posting some pictures about like my garden. Um, because it's an important space, right? I mean, like I think I went for so long not having a yard because when I lived in Denver, I lived in a condo, and when I first moved back to Georgia, we were looking for a house. And then when we bought this house, it took us like 10 months to renovate it because we were doing most of the work ourselves. And so we were living with my parents, and my parents lived in a nice neighborhood, but the yards were like teeny. So there really wasn't a yard per se. And that was really what drew me to this house, to be honest with you, because I was like, look, we can change the yard, but you can't. I mean, we can change the house, but you can't change the fact that this is an older home and we have this much space in the yard. I mean, you can't change that. So, so I wanted to tell you some of the things that has helped me. And so largely we're going to be talking about feng shui. Hey, Veronica. Um, so we are going to be largely talking about feng shui because I did get this new book and I am going to put this in there. Hey, Courtney. I am going to put this in the description below, but more than that, I'm going to show you guys his YouTube channel. It's so amazing, and this is how I found him. Um, there's other feng shui stuff, and we can. I mean, I know like this much about the history of feng shui, but I've done feng shui things in my house for a long time without following all of the all of the practice. I got a feng shui bracelet as a gift and I've been wearing it religiously because I really just like the energy of it. So, I mean, there's different I think there's different things that we can add and subtract with that. And I think it's important that you do what is right for you. It's like the way that I place my desk. It seems odd, like when you walk into the cottage, when you walk into my office. Well, first of all, it's a disaster because it took me a while to move everything around, but now we emptied out our basement and emptied it into the cottage. It's just, it's crazy. So, but my desk placement seems odd when you first walk into the room. But in feng shui, I have placed my desk in a power place. I have placed my desk in a position of power. I've placed it in the power spot so that when I walk in the room or when I am sitting here, that I feel like I can. It's not that I'm in control, but it's just like, this is mine. This is my thing. This is where I'm at. So I place it in a position of power. And that's the way I like it because I can see the doors. There's actually two doors and two windows, three windows if you count the other room. But I can see all of those from this space. That's a position of power. There's very important things behind me that are supporting me, that are giving support to me. Do you see? Here's my oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? I just totally forgot the name of my. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I cannot believe I'm like totally forgetting names. I cannot believe I just cannot remember the name of the name of my stuff. I mean, that's altar. How can I forget the name altar? Is it possible that I was out in the sun too long today? Is it possible? Yeah. So I have an altar behind me in this space. If you'll remember in my other setup, my altar was beside me. I also have other little mini altars like all around. And especially in my old setup, I had altars on either side of my monitor. Now I just have little things that sort of represent my altars, like in front of my monitor and on either side of it, so that when I am in a reading, that I can kind of look at those things and sort of bring me, back in. Also, when I'm doing my readings, especially when I'm doing readings for readings at the round table, I can look into the camera and I can see the reflection of my altar, and it sort of puts me back into perspective. I have things over here that do the same thing. It's just wonderful. No, Mercury is direct, Alethea, Kelsey, I hate how my back is to people. Yes. Okay, Kelsey. So there are things that you can do to help correct the chi. There's things that you can do to help correct that energy that does, because that bothers you, that people come in behind you and you can't see it. Mouse, what are you doing? I don't Sorry, I don't know what my cat's doing. Very strange. Okay, so there's some really great things with feng shui, but I also want to talk to you about like the flow, the feel. Is it pretty to you? Screw everybody else. Is it pretty to you? Does it make sense to you? Because again, walking into my office, this flow may not make sense to everyone. I mean, it doesn't even make sense to my husband because he comes in and he's like, "I really like this feels awkward." It is awkward, kind of, but it's the feng shui of this space. And I know that I'm not going to be in this space with my office forever. So I want it to be comfortable for me right now, you know? So that's what I'm doing because I do have more control over the space. Unlike Kelsey, who sounds like she works, in an office where you don't have a lot of control over that space. So when I moved to my permanent office, then I'll make things less awkward so that when I do, if I have people come here for a reading, that they don't feel awkward when they walk in, which is something else. In an office space or in a business sense, you do care about how the company feels, how the people that come in feel. You do care about that. In your home, you want people to feel comfortable, but you also don't want them to just I mean, you don't want to have to decorate your home for other people's taste, right? So, there's another person that I'm going to introduce you guys to, which actually some of you may already know her, or you may already know Cliff Tan. I don't know. But these are people that I found on YouTube, that I found on the internet. And like I said, I found him on the internet and then I bought his book and I was just like, I'm in love. This is awesome. And I really, really like the way that he explains feng shui, because for the longest time, and this is how I've always taught feng shui, is that you first map the bagua. Has anybody heard that? Mapping the bagua is very important when you're doing feng shui. It's important in your home, in your office, each room in your home, and even in your yard, even in your space. When we were painting the doors on our house, I looked up like the colors for feng shui colors that our doors needed to be if they were facing certain directions. Because honestly, you want your front door to face a certain direction, but we have a church directly across the street from us. That's actually bad feng shui. So, because there's a lot of emotion and a lot of energy in churches. There's nothing wrong with the church. The church is actually very nice. They are incredibly lovely people. They've had issues before, like in the street, and my husband and I have gone out and tried to help them with like moving cars, like not moving cars, but like stopping traffic for them and stuff, because it can be a little chaotic. Because we live on a busy street. So, the church, they are very lovely people, and I love them, but feng shui energy says you should not be across from a church or a temple because there's so much energy. There's exciting energy and happy energy when people are getting married, right? There's sad energy when, they're celebrating someone's transition, when they're having a funeral. So that energy can flow into your home. So what we did was we sort of sealed off our front door. So we don't use the front door ever. We never open it. In fact, we have our dog kennels in front of it so that we don't open the front door. We use our garage door. It's a carport because our house was built in the 60s. We use that as the main entrance and exit into the home. And then we have another back door into the backyard. So that's how we mentally shifted it. And I sort of put some things in the house to like signify that. The biggest thing is when we put a beam in our house, we had to put a beam in our house because the A-frame of the roof was like starting to come down because they had done some renovations like in the 80s and 90s, and they had done a DIY stuff and they had not done it properly. So we had to put this beam into our house, and what it did is it cut the flow in half. So you can actually come into our living space and you can feel that shift. So now I am in the middle of trying to um work some magic. And once I get my garden good and underway, or like, in a good space, then I'm going to work on that this summer. And I'm going to rearrange the furniture in my living room and I'm going to rearrange the furniture in the dining room according to the book here, because I don't want the flow to feel separated. I want it to feel more I want it to feel more inviting to us and our guests. But really, I want it to feel more inviting to us. So, just letting you know where all of this stemmed from. Yeah. So I've truly been having a lot of fun with this. So the flow and the feel is the most important thing, and that's what this guy Cliff Tan talks about. The other person that I want to show you, she is sort of a decorator. Well, she is a designer. She is a designer, but she's sort of like gone in a different way recently. So she's not doing as much decorating. She's not doing as much design work anymore on her channel, but her channel is still loaded with some incredible tips, some incredible ideas, especially if you are a renter, and what you can do to change your space and to really do some fun, interesting, and not expensive things to change and update your space. Or if you do own the home, like what you can do, it's really amazing. So let me introduce you to her first, and then we'll get into the feng shui. Okay, so I'm not used to doing this, but I'm going to try this right now. Yay, it worked. Okay, so this is Caroline Winkler, and let me tell you how much I absolutely love her. First of all, she has a vlog. She has like a lifestyle vlog. So it's not all, hey, Gretchen, how are you? Um, she has a lifestyle vlog but she also does a lot of design work. And she started doing the design YouTube stuff in lockdown in 2020. And she was at one time she was an actress, and so she's done a lot of stuff, and so she's lived in small places in New York. She currently lives in DC where she's from. um so she is absolutely fascinating. I mean, she has a lot of stuff, but I love like even her comment on here. Look at that, it says very human. That's who she is. I absolutely love her. She's so amazing. Is she even has a thing that says we're going thrifting, and she takes you thrifting and she talks to you about all this. And I just love her vlog because she talks about her mental health, she talks about her physical health. She's just truly amazing. She's very open about things that she's been through in life. And sorry, I'm so thirsty, y'all. I was really out in the yard a long time today. Um, but she talks about like, things that she's been through in life, with like eating disorders and relationship issues and stuff. And she's really amazing. But what really helped me when I was watching her is for me not to be afraid. Okay, so my favorite color is red. I don't know if you can tell that because I have like some red stuff over here. I've red stuff everywhere. So what I usually do when I move into a place, I paint the walls like a gray or a khaki kind of color, and then I decorate everything in red. That's just what I've always done. And but my husband put the kibosh on that when we were redoing the house. And he was like, "Okay, I'm so sick of the brothel look. Can we do something else?" So now red, my favorite color, is just sort of maybe accented in different spaces and different places. It's not like overwhelming. But watching her stuff has actually helped me integrate my favorite color without it being overwhelming. And it's made me less afraid of maybe looking at some other colors, maybe looking at some other things, and getting a little like, how to do things with, if I change my mind, that's okay. Because I always think, I'm like, I'm afraid to do that because I can't, what if I can't change my mind? And she's like, no, this is no problem. You can take this back. Cause she's like, I will return this, or I will sell it and buy something else that works better. Sometimes you just don't know until you get it in your space. I really, really love that about her. It's like she gave me that freedom to mess up my space and fix it again. But she also is just so great with saying, hey, enjoy your space, feel good in your space and, do what's right for you. How do you feel about this? What do you want to do? But I really, really like how she shows people that are renting how to make the most of your space when you're renting. She does a lot of renter friendly things that you can make changes to that you can take with you, or things that you can make changes that you can paint over, or you can do whatever when you leave, and you won't get you won't get penalized from the landlord, or you won't get, it'll it, it makes you take care of your space without like wrecking anything. I also love that she made that giant piece of artwork. In the center there, it says DIY giant wall decor. She made that, and what she did is she made that from her favorite samples. They're all like samples of colors and fabric and stuff, and I love it. I love it. Again, it gave me the idea of like, oh my gosh, I have all of these little favorite things and I don't know what to do with them. And making a big project like that would be great. It would be something I could put back here, like when my great grandmother's palmist office sign goes to get fixed. Right? I mean, it's wonderful. So she does have a vlog. It's a life vlog, and she also does have she has a podcast now with one of her friends, and this is amazing. Like the stuff that she teaches you how to do. She built a desk. This is when she lived in Ohio. This is when she first started her blog here, her YouTube channel. She did a patio makeover. She did a excuse me, a room makeover. She just did a lot of wonderful things, and she did it for under, she'll show you how she did it for um under this amount of money, and how you can do things and make it your own and do some awesome stuff. And I really, really love this wood art that she did. That's freaking awesome. That's freaking awesome. And that also ties into feng shui, because not only is it wood and it's an element, but you could add some more elements in there. Like you could add metal to it and make it two elements. So you want to keep those elements up in your, in your space, because you want to invite in all of the elements into your space. So anyway, okay. So this is the okay, how do I do this? Sorry, I'm just learning. I'm still learning how to do the screen sharing thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So that is that. Now, the next one I want to share with you. And let me see if I can do this correctly. I'm not doing it correctly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you Cliff Tan's thing if I can find it. Okay, I was so organized, you guys. I seriously was. Found him. Okay. Okay. Share this tab instead. Okay, I'm doing this right. All right, so this is the guy that wrote this awesome book. Feng Shui Modern is Cliff Tan. He will also tell you some of the history of Feng Shui and how it's been outlawed in China 2 different times. It is currently outlawed because they are like technically a communist country, whatever. But this is so freaking awesome. How he helps people, like he shows them like how to fix their space, what they can do. And I love what he does with the flow and how he says, and he's so cute. Oh my gosh, he's the cutest guy. I just love him, because he's like, okay, if you can't change this, then change this. And he always talks to you and educates you about the flow. But then at the end of his videos, he goes, and now you know. And I'm like, I love that. He's just so happy. He's so happy. But he goes into, like, people send him layouts in their houses and their apartments and stuff. And or sometimes he just sees them when he was like riding his bike down a street and he saw the entrance of these buildings and he showed you what like good feng shui is and bad feng shui. So it's amazing and I love his energy. What I love about his book so much is that he does talk about mapping the bagua, but the most that he talks about is the flow and the chi in his book. That is the biggest thing in his book, and balancing the elements. Those are the biggest thing in his book is the flow and chi. He has a tiny little like a tiny chapter about mapping the bagua because that it is a part of it. Um but I'm trying to find it. Um but it's not overwhelming like it is in other books that I have. So I have this book too. And I can list these guys for you guys. This is the Western Guide for of to Feng Shui, but room by room, which it is very handy. And I have taught from this book for a long time because I really do appreciate it. Until I saw him. This is why we should all be doing continuing education. I don't care what your discipline is or what your career path or whatever it is. Everyone should do continuing education because there's always more to know. A lady that really got me into astrology, that truly got me loving it, um she's been doing astrology for like 40 years or something. And she told me, she goes, I always learn something about astrology. Always. There's always something new. There's always something that I need to add. And I'm like, I love that. I love that because I enjoy the studying part, which is probably my Gemini moon. I don't know. But oh, the eyelashes, people. I mean, really, the eyelashes. So, but this is why I'm constantly trying to, like open myself up to new things and new knowledge. And this guy came across my feed and I am so incredibly grateful because, I just feel like I have learned so much about, some of the principles just from him. Just with how to lay out like some of the rooms in my house. um, I started watching him before I actually moved my space into the space that I'm at right now. And I knew that I wanted my desk like to be in this general area because it is the power area. So there was a rhyme and a reason with that. Really, my eyelashes. Excuse me while I be vain. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys that this is like a big part of it. Now, while I'm on that topic, the reason why years ago I started getting into feng shui was because I wanted to bring more luck into my life, to be honest with you. This was in 99, 2000, 2001. Those years kind of blend to me, you know, because it was during my Saturn returns. I think we all know what that's like. Um, so um, this I started like reading books about feng shui and like what I could do to like bring some luck into my life. And that's what I thought I was doing, was I was just talking about luck. Turns out I was actually changing my energy. I was changing my vibration by doing that kind of stuff. So fantastic. I mean, that really set me off on the journey that I am still on, to be honest with you. So, um, it started because of ADHD. So I don't wear it like a badge, but I do have some ADHD issues, and it's apparent in like my children as well. so much fun with that. Am I right? Yeah. So, if I have, and it's true, because right now my office space, aside from this area here, is cluttered. It's crazy cluttered because I had to get stuff out of my basement. We had one of those storage pods in our driveway for a while. I had to get stuff out of that, and I needed to just bring it in and just put it somewhere, and that's exactly what I did. I just brought it and put it down. Now, since I have done that, I have noticed a major shift in my ADHD. I cannot always focus in this space. It's challenging for me. So now what I have to do, I literally have to, like I tell my empaths, well, I try to tell empaths not to drop the bubble around them because you miss so much trying to come in, like good energy trying to come in when you're repelling the bad energy. But I have to drop a bubble over myself in order to get work done. I have to sit here and I have to face the wall. Um, I have to do other things in order to get work done in my space. So, what I've been doing for, and I this is again an ADHD issue. What I do is I set my timer on my phone and I give myself an hour to an hour and a half every day to work on the space. That's it. That's all I have. I can be on the phone while I'm doing it. I can listen to my books. I listen to a lot of audiobooks because, time, and I don't have time to sit down and read as much as I used to. But those are the kinds of things that I do while I'm doing that. So I set the timer on my phone, and some days I only have an hour, and some days I have more time, but I will only allow myself an hour and a half. Why do I do that? Because I don't want to get down a rabbit hole. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? I'm talking about when you're going through a box and you go, "Oh, I haven't seen this notebook in a long time. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read page by page, and I'm going to see exactly what is going on or what was happening in 1993. What was I doing then? Do we need to return to that? No, no. Do you know how old those babies that were born in 1993 are now? They are 30. What do you need to know that happened 30 years ago? Look at it later. Now is the time for tidying. This is what I have to tell myself. So I can get down a rabbit hole, and I do occasionally schedule time for rabbit holes because you get down a vortex of like YouTube videos and stuff, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm in it. I'm in it. Don't lie to me. Y'all know that you do that. Because if you're sitting at home right now and you're smirking to yourself and going, then you're with me. So this is what I do. I set timers for myself. I set parameters for myself. And this is helping me immensely. And it's also really, really helping me to get in uh get into a better space with my space. Um Also my garden. So, um, occasionally you have to, I'm sorry, I've got to I'm trying to stop yeah, there we go. So, I, uh, where's the share? I want to share another thing for you. Um, Screen. Um, so occasionally, I get into, there we go. Um, I let my garden grow out, because you can't grow in the same place over and over and over again and see your plants thrive. You can't. I mean, you can, you can add to it. You can add fertilizers, you can add things to the soil, and I do highly recommend that. Like adding some really wonderful nutrients and stuff to the soil. Look, you can tell that I was in the garden today. No nails. Um, but you can add those things into the soil. But the soil, especially when you're growing vegetables or you're growing fruits of some kind, you need to let that soil rest. So I let my garden just grow out and it went crazy. I mean, crazy. So I've had to like really, really work with it and get it back to a good place. What I have found is I think that like there's a lot of my energy in that garden. When I tend my garden, my life seems to be in a better place. My space is in a better place. My like my organization is better just because I have to tend to my garden every day. Hi, Altair. How are you? So that's a sacred space for me. It really is. My garden is definitely a sacred space. And the more I tend it, the better like the rest of my life seems to flow. The things seem to go better in my life. And I'm noticing that. So tending my garden the last few days has just been it's been awesome. And it's really made some changes. So while I'm doing that, I am also starting to apply this. And I'm applying the flow and energy of what he says about homes and how like you want things coming in because I'm going to start putting in 6 a.m. in India. Wow. And I was studying the whole night. I have an exam at 2 p.m. Oh my gosh. Oh my love. Okay. Well, you know what? Okay, I've got some good stuff. Um I I'm gonna put your handle, Altair 30. I'm gonna put your handle on a piece of paper and I'm gonna put some crystals on it to help you with your exam at 2 p.m. Okay. Um So this feng shui is going to help me change the flow and the energy in my garden, and I'm loving 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 that because I've been wanting to put up a garden gate, not like a huge gate, but I have gates like cuz our tire yard is fenced in. I have gates into our backyard, and that's where you need to keep your lavender. Always, always, always grow lavender near your gate, into your yard, into your garden. It's good luck. I'm very superstitious. Y'all know that. Um, so I usually have my lavender in a pot and I sit it down like right in between the openings into my backyard. And so I would like to have a garden gate, a real gate at my garden, just even if it's a small one that I can step over because it helps direct the energy. It helps direct the flow. And that is essentially what I really, really love about this cleft tan is learning the flow and the energy and like um how you can change how you feel in a space. And that's wonderful, isn't it? God, this light is killing me here. Okay. So that's how like you feel in the space. And then if you feel good in the space, then other people will feel good in it too. So this is where I want to show you what mapping the bagua is. All right. So let's see if I can do this correctly. How about that? Okay. This is what I've handed out in my classes before. Okay. So do you see down here where I have main entrance? I have main entrance down at the bottom. That main entrance can be anywhere on the page, okay? It can be coming into knowledge and self-cultivation, or it can be coming into helpful people and travel. So right now, the entrance to my office, the space that my office is in, the entrance is actually coming into helpful people and travel. So what I did was I drew this generic Bagua map, okay? So that you guys can use it. If you want a copy of this, as you can see, I already have it in a PDF form. Email me at metaphysicalroundtable@gmail.com and I will send it to you, okay? But this is what I use, all right? And again, this is generic because the entrance, the main entrance is going to be all along that main level there. Can you see that? Oh, you can. You can see my cursor. How about that? Okay, so the entrance can be in any of these 3 quadrants. Okay? And that's where that's where you start mapping it. So if we're looking at like my office, for instance, how I have things set up, the main entrance into the building is right here in helpful people and travel. The main entrance into my office comes in like, it kind of comes in right here through that wall. So if I'm mapping the building and then my office as an individual, so that way I could look at this as just my office. And this is where I put my desk right here in this fame and reputation. Then in my love and marriage corner, I have, you see, I have a pair of plants. I have a gift that my husband gave me for Mother's Day a couple of years ago. It's a tree of life metal thing. And it also has two children beside it for our boys. Then everything on my altar, because it's so close to the love and marriage corner of my office, everything in my altar is pairs, 2. So everything on there is, in a pair. Everything is 2 by 2, just like on Noah's Ark. So but the plants, 2. I made sure that everything in that corner had some kind of pair. It had some kind of mate, even the printer. So everything in that corner is an even number, paired, because that's my love and marriage corner. My love and marriage corner in my house has some favorite pictures, just even snapshots of me and Dr. Seuss, my husband. So that's what I do there. Now, my wealth and prosperity corner has a number of things over there. It has a lot of red things because that's actually a big thing with feng shui. Is red is actually a big feng shui thing. But it also has specific crystals. It has round leaf plants. Under those round leaf plants, I have coins wrapped in red paper. I have 3 coins, 3 silver coins wrapped in red paper, and they're underneath the round leaf plant. So that's what I have there. My children and creativity corner here, I have a lot. Actually, I have kind of the air conditioner, so that's fine. But I try to keep all of their things, so when they're coming down into my office, I have a whole section for them of just like fun things, like markers and crayons and paper. I also keep my candles there, but just because it's a convenient place to store them. Now, he will say to keep the flow and the energy. That's what I try to do because I can't always store, like I need to store my candles someplace. I need to store like some of my things someplace. But and it may not be like typical feng shui. Maybe I have things that should be in my knowledge and cultivation corner over here. But this is what I got. And in my knowledge and cultivation corner in my office is actually a bathroom. So, you have to put some special things in that bathroom so that your knowledge and self cultivation doesn't go down the toilet. Do you see? Do you see how we're thinking here? Um, I'm not giving readings tonight, sweetie. I'm so sorry. It's just on readings at the round table. But I actually have June's monthly numerology coming out in the next day or two. So that'll be up. Um, and then we have and this is gonna be a busy week because the full moon is June 3rd. Isn't it full moon June 3rd? Yeah, I believe it is. So, oh, eyelashes again. So, I also have a collection of angels. I collect angels, and lots of people give me angels. They've always done that, like for years and years, giving me just angels. And oh, nice! I love cancers. The so I have like one angel in my children and creativity area, and so it's a nice, it's a nice place for them to be. Yeah. Then we have I'm just trying to remember. Oh yeah, I collect Barbie dolls, so no judgment, right? I collect Barbie dolls. I've collected Barbie dolls since I was a child. It's just a thing. Um, and so my collection of Barbie dolls will also go in my children and creativity area. Yeah. It's the energy I feel like, and the energy that we assign to these corners, to these areas is very important. And I don't think that this map is necessarily the end all be all, because that's what I like about his book is that he tells you, he's like, oh no, you don't want to do that. Your ancestors won't like that. Or, he'll say, you don't want your feet facing this direction when you're sleeping. You don't want a mirror at the foot of your bed, because if you wake up and you see that, it can like startle you, and that's not the way we wake up. I mean, it's just the stuff that he says makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, and he gives some really wonderful ways of correcting that. So, like for Kelsey, when she was saying that she worked in a cubicle, she works in a pod, and she doesn't like it that there's like that, there's people behind her. She doesn't feel like she's in a power seat. That will not give her a powerful position in her job, in her career path. It won't make her comfortable, it won't make her happy. So what we need to do in that, Kelsey, is that you might want to think about adding mirrors. They don't have to be huge mirrors. They can be those cute little decorative mirrors from like from Hobby Lobby. I use those from Michaels and Hobby Lobby. They're maybe like this big. And I've had cubicles in the past. And so I know exactly what you're talking about. And I've sort of put those in surreptitious positions so that I felt like I could kind of keep an eye on what was coming on behind me, but it looked also like decoration. It also made me feel like I had like a, a window in front of me, you know? And I even like years ago when I worked at a bank and I was just studying feng shui, what I did was I took those little decorative circles, because it needs to still be a work environment, whatever. But I put the little decorative circles together on a cork board and sort of made it into art on my cork board so that I could sort of see behind me. If you have a window, that's fantastic. So there should be a way that you can sort of have like put some mirrors like beside your window or below it or somewhere around it so that you can see the sky, but you can also see what's going on behind you. So you don't feel separated. You don't feel like you don't have that power seat, which would be interesting. But little mirrors like that, I've gotten them at Hobby Lobby and at Michael's, like those kind of arts and crafts stores, and they're fantastic. They're great. They're just like this big, and they come in different sizes, so you really could do like an art project with it and put it on a piece of cork board so that you can also put like notes and stuff up to yourself, and it's not something that people would question. I think this would be fantastic for you, and I think it would add a bit of like interest as well. Also getting a round leaf plant in your space is going to be really good for you. Feng Shui loves round leaf plants, loves them. So I buy a lot of people jades. I mean, for housewarming presents, for teachers' presents, I buy people jades, little jade plants. Oh, that's fantastic, Kelsey. That is fantastic. There is this wonderful man that I follow on Etsy. Hang on, let me see. Let me see if I can find him. Um, he sells why is this not working? There we go. Sorry. Do 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 do. Let's see. Can I find Etsy? There's this wonderful man on Etsy that I follow. And I'm looking to see. I don't. Oh, I don't have it saved. I do have him saved somewhere, but I actually have like 3 Etsy accounts. And he sells this stuff that I've forgotten the name of. Um I'm going to remember it probably in the middle of the night. But it's not smudge, but it's just incredible stuff. I have 4 plants, 2 cactus, and 2 air plants. Okay. The cactus is good, but it is not feng shui. It's prickly and like pointy leaf plants and things that are prickly are not it's not beneficial. Do the air plants have like round leaves? Like even my little plants back here, my fake plants have round leaves on them because I'm a nut. Really good with that. But yeah, plants, round leaf plants are really good. I'm not trying to get you to go out and spend extra money. Cactus are great. They're fantastic plants, but they're not there's something about the prickly of them. The air plants I'll bet are just really pretty. Those usually are. So think about those. If they're aesthetically pleasing to you and they make you happy, then that's good energy right there. Just add a round leaf plant. Just, because a jade is a succulent. It's similar to a cactus. Oh, the one cactus has round leaves. Okay. But yeah, there's something about that. I wish I could remember the name of that stuff. I wish I could remember a lot of stuff. I apparently was out in the sun way too long today. And this again can feed into ADHD. So I try to be mindful of that because I feel like sometimes I pull like energy off my kids, and I know they pull energy off of me. So we don't need to be like just constantly feeding each other's ADHD issues, you know? And, it's great because I get some really good ideas. It's just the follow through and the feng shui and being good in my space is really great. The air plants are in the bugs. Oh, that is so cute. Oh, bee and ladybug, those are very, very good. Those are awesome. I love that. A bee and a ladybug. A pollinator and lucky ladybug. I love it. That's awesome, Kelsey. Um, but I just wanted you guys to see this. I just wanted you guys to see how easy it is, or we can mess up our space very easily. And when we mess up our space, I think it has a huge effect on our energy. I think it really does. And I don't know how many of you have watched my readings at the round table. I don't know how many of you guys have seen that. But occasionally you'll see me like reading the cards, and you'll see me reach up and move the crystals around that's on my little mini altar here, because like it's like I can't function. I'm like, okay, I can't go any further until I fix this issue. So I mean, ADHD can have its place because it does give you some really good ideas, but it also can be kind of crippling when you're trying to get your job done. So when you're doing things like keeping your space like clutter free, which has been difficult for me lately. Like I would say is like since the fall, I've not been able to keep up with the clutter in my spaces. And now it's like gotten crazy. It's gotten out of control. And it's never been like that way for me here. Other people have accused me of that. Other people have said, I don't want your junk cluttering up my space. And I'm like, I'm sorry? Especially after I've helped them organize their stupid shit. Excuse my language. Facebook and YouTube, sorry. Um, because I'm like looking at the most disorganized people, and then they tell me that they don't want my stuff cluttering up their space. It's because it's somebody else's stuff. But normally I'm like super organized about my stuff because I need to know how to get to it. But since last fall, I don't know what the change up was for me last year, that just caused like some chaos and some turmoil, and it's been really challenging to try and get it back on track. So I'm on it though. And my garden has really been pointing me in that direction. And it's really been great because um I think that's the reason why, because last year I let my garden grow over and I had everything in pots to give that to give it a break, to give that space a break for a year. And now, I'm trying to catch up. Um once again, I want to tell everybody that soon I am going to have to switch my days because my kids have activities like all summer. They're signed up for soccer and horse riding, and I don't know what the hell else they're doing. I mean, they're doing like other things. I think it's like karate or taekwondo or so. I don't know. They're doing other stuff, but they've got some stuff going on Thursday nights. So I am not going to be able to do Thursday nights. I think it's going to have to be Tuesday nights, and I hope that that settles well with everybody. I hope everybody's okay with Tuesday nights. And I can still do it at 7:30, or it's 7:30 is nice because then I can end at 8:30 and I can go up and tell my boys good night before I continue to work, because that's usually how I do things. But you guys let me know. We still have another week of May giveaway. Yes. So I am still giving away some decks of cards that I have reviewed or am reviewing. And yes, they are open decks, but they've not been used except for in the review. And I have so many decks of cards, you guys would not even believe it. So I am doing a giveaway, and so far I have one, two, three. I think I have 4 decks I'm giving away. Um, Possibly more. It depends on how many I can get reviewed between now and then. I'm giving away some other special little things, but this is the May giveaway. The May giveaway is all about either subscribing to Metaphysical Round Table's uh, website. Oh my gosh, our webpage at www.metaphysicalroundtable.com. Or dropping a comment in one of the videos on um, uh, readings at the round table. So readings at the round table, I have reviewed at the round table on that channel. Um, uh, there's a couple of other things that I'm doing on that channel, but the numerology and the readings, the astrology, the zodiac readings on there is where people have been putting comments. And I've been making sure to put in there that you are registered for you've been entered in the May giveaway. And so we can sit back next week and announce who won the cards in the May giveaway. I know, it's so great. So those are the only 2 things you have to do. We have a lot of people that are in it already. I have a list. And if you are subscribing to the website, I can't actually like send out a thing saying entered in the May giveaway, but I am collecting those names. As you sign up, I get notified and I'm putting that out there. So I was doing a test run with a virtual assistant, and she was showing me how I can vamp up my website. She's too busy and she can't take me on as a client, but she showed me how to vamp up things on my website, and she showed me she was actually posting comments or replying to some of the comments on YouTube saying entered in the May giveaway, entered in the May giveaway. So I have a nice little list thanks to her. Thanks to her help for about 2-3 weeks. So it was awesome. All right. Do you guys have any questions? I will make sure if you want a copy of the Bagua map that I made and that I hand out in my classes, just email me at metaphysicalroundtable@gmail.com and I'll get that out to you. Also, check out Cliff Tan and his book, Feng Shui Modern. It is fantastic. It is absolutely awesome. And I ordered it off of Amazon. His YouTube channel is called Dear Modern. But you can look him up by Cliff Tan. And Caroline Winkler is the other lady, and she's been really, really awesome with helping me feel a little less fearful when like doing changes and design things in my house. And she's also helped me like understand like uh, how I can do things. Like, adding like a clear a clear shelf in a place where you're always wanting to sit your coffee, but there's not an end table there. So she added like a clear, like almost like a plastic shelf onto a wall. And I was like, she's a genius. But going thrifting with her, there's a lot of neat stuff on her channel. And her vlog is great too. Her lifestyle vlog is really, really awesome. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And I hope you take this and get into feeling the flow of your space. How do you feel in your space? And is it pretty to you? Is it acceptable to you? How does it feel to you? That's where you want to start. And then, if you have clients or if you have guests or whatever you want them to feel comfortable in a guest space or in a client sort of space as well. So, just being that. But if you guys don't have any more questions, Make sure you drop me a comment on Readings at the Round Table in any of those videos. And I mean, I know Becky watched one from like a while back and she posted a comment and I was like, entered. And then um and then I have people that are signing up for the website, so it's really nice too. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you again to Carrie Rodriguez for allowing me to stream to the beautiful witch, La Hermosa Bruja, which, by the way, you guys, don't forget to check out her website because she has amazing stuff on her website. She has amazing products. They're absolutely lovely. Her smudges are outstanding. Outstanding. Thank you again. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. And until we see each other again, get out there and make your magic. Bye.